Well, hey there, Hidden Nation. So good to see you. Welcome into the studio. It's Josh Cary right here. It's your hidden entrepreneur. Thanks for tuning into 710 WOR. It's the voice of New York. We're sitting here on that iHeartRadio network. What does that mean for you? You can download that free iHeartRadio app and not only continue listening to this show, but the entire back catalog is right here, along with any other podcast or show that you are currently tuning into, or you want to discover shows, the free iHeartRadio app is the way to go. Hidden Nation, we have a very exciting show for you because you know entrepreneurship is what drives me day in and day out. And I'm excited to be joined by our guest today. His name is Mike Mogan, and he is certainly the epitome of an entrepreneur. He is the founder, creator, inventor of the beach wagon. I don't know how often I get to talk about this, but I love the beach. I'm a beach guy, born and raised and bred in the great Garden State, New Jersey. Love going to the beach any chance I get. And what he's created and invented is so useful to make our lives easier. Now, isn't that what entrepreneurship is about? Helping you solve a problem, helping you live life a little better. Well, sit tight because we're going to get into all of the makings of the beach wagon. You got to hear this, Hidden Nation. Mike, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me, Josh. Really appreciate it.
So I got to tell you, I looked at I scoured the website. I looked at all the other TV spots and interviews you've done. Really impressive product, because when you hear beach wagon on the surface, you really don't know what you're in store for. And I just found that as I was going through the video where I'm learning the features and benefits of this product, it's almost so perfect, right? All the little nuances you have. I mean, for one thing, it's motorized. Another thing, it has a built-in phone charger. So necessary. I mean, how many times have we been on the beach and we're like, oh gosh, my phone is dying. Did you come to the table with these solutions, or has it sort of evolved over time?
Yeah. So, when I first saw the need for it, we looked into electric beach wagons, and there was one out there on the market called the Sandhopper. And when I saw the price tag, I was shocked. I was like, wow, I can't spend this much money on one. So I looked into building my own. I'm a DIY kind of guy. So looked into building my own beach wagon, and I did. I built a rough prototype. And at that point in time, I didn't think I was going to be going into business, starting my own business with the beach wagon. I just thought I was building myself an electric beach wagon. So we started coming out with the main ideas, right? We wanted a frame that had built-in pole holders so that when you took off the side railings, you could just put your umbrella right through the frame. That was a very key feature that we wanted. And after I had this prototype built, we got to thinking like, man, there's a market for these things, and I never heard of the Sandhopper before, I started digging into it. So, we thought we could launch a product and market it a lot better than the Sandhopper was being marketed to get out to the masses and get everybody to be interested in it.
So on paper, you are wait for it, you're a highway engineer and transportation industry veteran. Did you have to learn marketing, or did it come naturally? How did you connect those dots?
Yeah, I mean, I don't do the marketing myself. My wife handles all of the marketing. I'll do a lot of the videos. So I did learn a little bit about creating videos and video content, but I really lean on my wife, who has a background in marketing and has been doing it for over 20 years. So she really helps out a lot. Tara is her name, but yeah, she helps out a lot on the marketing side.
How lucky is that? Just to have a partner in crime, right? So you guys are a married couple and in business together. So far, so good?
Yeah, so far, so good. I didn't realize, again, that, when we went on that first date, that I'd be having her as a business partner, but I definitely got her approval, and she gave me the go ahead to actually start the business.
You, as by trade, a highway engineer, transportation industry veteran, like I said, now you're deep in the world of entrepreneurship. Was this always something you've done, or is this sort of your first entrance into it?
I've always had the itch to be an entrepreneur, I
Yeah.
think. As a highway engineer, you have to follow standards, and you don't really get to use too much creativity. And I have this creative side to me that, I like to satisfy. I've always come up with ideas. Some of my friends, every time they come up with a new idea, they say, "Oh, I just had a Mogan," because
Really?
it's just things I come up with all the time, and it's really fun. Excuse me, to come up with these different ideas and to actually implement them. So it's something that I enjoy. As an engineer, I am a problem solver, but when you solve those everyday problems and then find a way to potentially profit off of that, that's what really it becomes interesting.
The e-beach wagon, I mentioned a couple of them. You mentioned the feature where you take the sides off, and then it's got a sturdy pole for you to put in your umbrella. I go to the beach with an umbrella. I'm spending 20 minutes digging a hole, right? Making sure that the umbrella is deep enough. So it's just so, like, again, like my mind was blown just to see these little features. Give us a couple more, including the key, right? There's a key that you lock it. Tell me about some of these really standout features.
Sure. So the wagon has an aluminum frame and aluminum railing. So in the beach atmosphere, the salt air is very corrosive. So um, those will last forever. The railings have a indent in them so that you can store like extra large items on there. Also, there's balloon tires, which are kind of a necessity for the beach. That's what really gets you through the sand.
Mhm.
As you mentioned, a key on off switch where when you don't have the key, you can't move the wagon because the brakes are always locked. So nobody can walk away with your wagon unless they have a key. And then also on the control panel is a battery indicator along with the USB charging port. So the battery indicator serves as like your vehicle's gas gauge. It tells you how much power you have left so that okay, I can make this trip, or, I need to charge it up before I go. And then you can charge your cell phone or other devices while you're on the beach. And then there's forward reverse switch, so you can go in forward or reverse, and a variable speed throttle, so you can go as slow as you want just by pressing the throttle a little bit, and it'll go up to like 4 miles an hour, a little bit faster than walking speed if you want to. And then there's also a neutral gear where you can slide it into an elevator or a tight space without bumping into anything. And then also what differentiates us is our removable plastic wagon bed. So, you're at the beach, you get
Mhm.
sand or drinks or food or whatever on there. It's a pain in the butt to get the wagon to a hose. You just take the wagon bed off, clean it off, real simple. So yeah, I mean, that covers most of the features, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it's
does.
unbelievable how it changes your life when you're carrying a lot of stuff to the beach.
Are you where are you selling this? Someplace like your website and Amazon, or is it in retail? Where's the vision here?
Now, our margins are relatively low, so to keep the product affordable for the consumer, or more affordable anyway. So all of our sales are through our website, and we do some events a few times a year as well. Some events at the beach, events that make sense where our demographic is. But
Mm.
90% of our sales is probably through our website.
As a highway engineer, I want to shift to this for a minute. I'm a very I could say curious, but I'm also very easily fascinated by a wide variety of things. So when I heard you're a highway engineer, explain to me what this is, and what, for example, is somebody like you actually responsible for that 99% of the public don't even consider, right? I'm sure that that's your world. Like, you do things that we just take for granted, and we go about our day.
Yeah, I mean, anytime that you see road work on the road, a highway engineer was involved at some point in time. It could be an improvement to an existing road. It could be a whole new road altogether. It could be widening, adding capacity to a highway. But yeah, I mean, highway engineers are involved from the very beginning, and we make sure that a safe highway solution is designed so that it benefits the traveling public.
And this is what you went to school for.
Yeah, so I graduated from Temple University in 2001 with a degree in civil engineering. There's a bunch of different types of civil engineering uh, alternate or facets that you can go into. I happened my first job out of college, the one that was paying the most money, and that I took that job was in highway design. So that's kind of where I got my start in, and been in that industry ever since.
Is that is that a design for a new stretch of highway, or there's you got to like rework something?
Yeah, so I've done quite a bit of everything, really, from brand new highways to old highway improvements, safety projects, realignments, intersections, interchanges, limited access highways. So I've done a little bit of everything.
And how has that tied to the success of eBeach Wagon? What have you pulled from?
Uh, quite a bit. In as a highway engineer, I use CAD, so I do drafting and design. This product had to be designed in CAD, a different software, but I'm familiar with how things work that way. But everything from like the RFP process where we started looking into manufacturers, or anytime that we get something manufactured, there's an RFP process where you have to put in your specifications of what you want, and then you get a price back and stuff like that. So that entire process, really helped me out as well. Um, just working with other engineers, that whole business side of things, I understand, and, what their markup is versus, and their costs and everything like that. So that helps me out to really understand like how much things should cost. And honestly, I think it helps me out because it helps you weed through, different options, and you can recognize when the price isn't right, because as a startup company, you're starting off with all your own funding, right? And it's challenging. So you have to cut costs as much as you can. So it helps in negotiating those costs, I think, to get a good price and to get things done.
You're certainly pursuing this entrepreneurial venture full throttle. Currently, what keeps you up at night?
Oh, what keeps me up at night? I would say that's a good question. What keeps me up at night? You know, I think it's just getting everything done that I need to get done. So I have a lot, I wear a lot of different hats. I'm the owner of eBeach Wagon. I'm still working part-time as a civil engineer. Also have two young children. We just moved into a new house. We just sold our old house. So it's just so much stuff going on that it's like, how is it all going to get done? You know what I mean? There's only so much time in the day. I wish I could invent more time, but it's really not possible. So it's just juggling all those different things, and still keeping customers happy, because that's the ultimate goal, is to make customers happy, so that they give us a good review, and then they spread the word and grows our business.
You've been on the market for about 2 years now, right? From first available iteration. Where do you go from here? Are you trying to perfect? Are you trying to add new? Are you on to the next thing?
Yeah. So originally we had 432 wagons manufactured, and
It's a lot of
we
wagons.
yeah, it is. It was a big capital investment. But after that, we we had some accessory. We went to
Hmm.
design some new accessories. So we designed a chair rack, a surfboard rack, some other accessories as well. And beyond that, we've made some minor improvements to the wagon, as well. Well, once we get through this inventory, which we're a little bit more than halfway through, we expect to be through the rest of the inventory by the end of this year, then we're going to move on to our Generation 2 model. So it's going to be a similar wagon, but different with some improvements as well. And, go for our second round of manufacturing with Gen 2.
Anything you could tell us?
Do I want to tell you anything about Gen 2 now? Not yet, not yet. We're keeping that kind of under our hat until we're a little bit closer to releasing it. But definitely some exciting things to come.
That's an entrepreneurship strategy to keep it under the
Yeah,
hat?
yeah. We have a great product right now, and we don't think people should wait, but definitely there is some proprietary stuff that is involved with the Gen 2 model that we definitely don't want to let out there quite yet.
And did I read that you've now created a partnership to be able to rent these?
That's correct. Yeah. So one of the ways that and not everybody owns a beach house, right? Myself, when I used to go to the beach, we would go for a week, in the summer, or 2 weeks in the summer on vacation. And sometimes that doesn't make sense for someone that's only going to the beach for a week to own a beach wagon, but they sure should rent one, right? If they're carrying a lot of stuff to the beach, they should definitely rent one. So we tried partnering with some rental providers, which we have so far in New Jersey, Delaware, Virginia. We're about to announce a new partnership in Florida. And not only does that give the opportunity for someone to rent one that's on vacation, but it also gets it out there. I mean, these things are like walking billboards on the beach. Once you see it, you're like, oh, what is that thing?
Yeah.
And then you want to, talk to the person and find out where they got it. So just having them out there and people seeing them is really where we get a lot of our sales. Like, oh, I saw one of these on the beach. And that's getting it out there.
You would think it's really a good point, because even if you were to have these in a store, right, they really can't, even if they can see one assembled and move it up and down the aisles, that's really not giving, right? You want to see the impression on the beach. Is that a big part of your marketing aspect that you do, getting them on the beach in front of the people, right?
For sure. Seeing it in person helps, but seeing it work on the sand,
that's what I'm saying,
where people go to the beach, it's funny. A lot of the questions that we get are like, oh, well, will that work on my sand? We have the toughest sand to get through in the world.
Like, you don't know my sand, right? That's crazy.
Exactly. Everyone's sand is the most difficult sand, matter where they are, man. It doesn't matter where you are. Everybody has the most difficult sand in the world. And I always tell them, like, hey, listen, I've been through every sand on the East Coast, so like, yeah, it works. It works. But when people see it, and see how much stuff you can carry with it, that's when it really clicks with them, and they want to get one at that point.
What marketing initiatives have you done? Like you say, we want to get them on the beach, but what is the plan? Like, what's the event? What's the initiative once you're on the beach?
Yeah, I mean, most of our sales, except for the rental partners, are business to consumer.
Right.
So we have to appeal to the consumer.
Sure.
We've done a lot of YouTube videos. We have a YouTube channel. I think if a picture's worth 1,000 words, how many is a video worth? So the videos are really helpful. Obviously the website and getting that to rank on Google, and my wife handles a lot of that sort of stuff. But then the consumer events certainly help us, get to the consumer as well. So a lot of the beaches that we go to, Sea Isle has, a summer event, or usually one in the spring, one in the fall. And there's other beaches out there that have big events like that. Ocean City, New Jersey, we go to those events every year. We were just down one in Florida. So, I wanted to expand into Florida. So we found a really good event in Siesta Key, the Siesta Crystal Classic. So a big sand sculpting competition where they have vendors. Anywhere that has vendors
Yeah.
on the beach is, an event that would be great for us. So if you know any of them
Yeah.
up in Monmouth County, you let me know and I'll check it out.
And then what do? You set up shop, you bring a fully assembled, workable e-beach wagon and show it off?
Yeah, we have our branded tent and bring an e-beach wagon with our accessories, and then walk it around in the sand if it's on the sand. If not, give customers the opportunity to bring it on the sand if they want. But typically, I'll sit in the wagon and move myself back and forth, because when you're just standing there, people don't like
Oh
realize
yeah.
it's electric,
Yeah.
So until they see you start to move in it, so.
What kind of insight and input have you gotten from your children? I'm a family man as well. I have a 10-year-old daughter, an 8-year-old son. I try to involve them as much as I can when they show interest. How has this worked out for you?
Yeah, they were certainly the inspiration for E-Beach Wagon. We had a dog first before we had kids, and it was carrying the dog down to the beach.
Right.
That was the very first inspiration. But then once we had our first child, that was like, oh my God, the amount of gear like tripled.
Yeah.
So we're like, I got to do something about this. So from that aspect, they were the inspiration. Now they're kind of young still to give any feedback or
Oh,
input. They certainly love the wagon. Stevie, my youngest, is 4, and Miles, I'm sorry, we're just going to put that to the side. Stevie is 2 and Miles is 4. So they do love the wagon, I must say. So they like to be in it. They like to ride in it. So it's really great having them around, because they are doing a lot of marketing for us.
right. And they're probably, I understand their younger age, but even their interest is telling, right? And how you can maneuver kids with it and around it and safety and whatnot. You've considered all that.
Absolutely, yeah, because part of our demographic is the folks with young kids or
Mm,
really grandkids. The grandparents are usually the ones with the beach house. But yeah, I mean, a lot of our videos that we have on YouTube are showcasing that we carry our kids in there, and we don't have any issues with that. So they certainly are helping out on that aspect.
do you see yourself riding out this and other entrepreneurial ventures where the highway engineer will run its due course in the right time?
That's the goal,
Is
right?
it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the goal. And we're getting close. But it's still going to take some time here before e-beach wagon and some other accessories that are going to be coming in the future will be able to pay the bills full time and support the family 100%.
And your wife Tara is the marketing portion of it. Is this what she does outside of E-Beach Wagon?
She does marketing outside of
Yeah.
Beach Wagon. She also works for New Look, a remodeling company that does roofing. She's been in the home improvement industry for quite a while. So, yes, she has a lot of different irons in the fire, just like I do.
Great.
Beach Wagon, New Look, kids, the
Yeah.
manager of the home. She does quite a bit.
It seems like you're someone that really appreciates all these different aspects of juggling, right? Not just focusing on one thing. As an engineer, you might argue that that's your deal. You're dedicated to that, but you like all the creativity, the ups and downs, right?
Yeah, I think I like the variety, right? You don't want
Right.
to be stuck doing the same thing over and over again. And variety gives you an interesting life, and keeps things interesting for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, the more, and honestly, as the owner of a small business, getting involved in every little aspect of the company is very interesting. One day I'm customer service, right? Another day I'm a
Sure.
salesman. Another day I'm a warehouse worker. Sometimes I'm a mechanic. So, you have to be able to do everything, and yeah, it definitely keeps things interesting for sure.
And this venture, eBeach Wagon, is still so new. What to date really surprised you in any direction about entrepreneurship?
Yeah, there's always going to be challenges that come up that you just were not expecting, right? And we've certainly had our own challenges when it comes to that. For example, we're launching a new product in the middle of the pandemic, trying to get these wagons manufactured in China.
Wow.
Where logistics costs to get a container shipped over here jumped from what used to be like $3,000 a container to like $15,000 or $16,000 for a container. But you're dealing with closures, and you're getting all your parts from different factories, and sometimes one closes down because of COVID, and things get delayed. So we're trying to get wagons delivered here by Memorial Day of 2022. The beginning of the summer season, right? That's when we wanted to have them, but delays are just inevitable, and we didn't get them until August of 2022. So we lost, most of our shelling season that first year, which was a challenge. But you figure out how to overcome things like that.
It's an interesting concept. So is this you've noticed that sales, are they somewhat consistent? Because, Florida could be more months than just the Northeast, or is it more of a seasonal buy?
No, it's definitely seasonal, for sure. There are different seasons in different areas, like you said, but there's definitely some times that are slower than others. Right now, it's starting to ramp up.
Sure.
People preparing for the summer, folks in Florida, Florida's busy season is really from Christmas time until about June. Okay. And then it like dies down because it's like severely hot down there.
Yeah.
And then, obviously the New Jersey beach season is Memorial Day to Labor Day. But people do prepare in advance. I'm more of a last minute type person. I'll get everything done last minute. But there's people actually that plan out things, those people exist. So they're looking into getting their wagon now for the summer, for when their beach house opens up. But there's definitely a slower period of time, in the fall, end of August, September, October, November, it's certainly a slower season for us.
Mike Mogan, the inventor, founder, and creator of eBeach Wagon. Hidden Nation, there you go. A lot to dissect here. I really appreciate you, Mike, for showing up and exploring all of this with us. Congratulations on the success. Can't wait to see where all this leads for you, your journey, and your family. Thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me, Josh. Really appreciate it.
There you go, Hidden Nation. Thank you for investing your time. Check out eBeach Wagon. Watch those videos. I'm certain you're going to be as impressed and excited as I was when I first saw it. So much good there. And when you do, figure out how and what you can apply to your own life and business, because we're all here to learn from each other. As always, get out there, do the good work, be visible, be seen. We're going to do this again before too long. Before we do, take care, be well.